What's up, guys? Dick Smack is here, back with another tier list video. anyways, it's been a while since I did a tier list. It's been like, what, 6 months probably, I think. More, I didn't actually check. I just feel like it's been a while, and I haven't pissed off the internet in a while, so I'm bored, and here we are. Also, you know what, it's an easy, cheap cash grab. Yeah, I said it. Deal with it. I got him. All right, so before we start this, this was somebody else's tier list thing. I had to pull everything down, so we're just gonna change everything to the very traditional, S, A, B, C, D's nuts, all the stuff, A, B, C. Yes, I had to think that, and surely that's relatable, right? You had to think that out. Now honestly, we're gonna leave this here, and you're gonna have to guess which frame's gonna end up going into literally KMS tier. So there are a few frames that I don't feel like I have a good enough grasp, so I did ask some people in my Discord about that, and then I also only gave them like 5 minutes. So those frames we are going to go over right off the bat. Now, also, to anybody that is here and is going to skip to the end, just you wait, it'll be extra funny. Now, Sight, okay, don't know enough about him. I don't have him yet, so we're just gonna say he's good because he goes invis and has a sniper, and put him in A tier. If that pisses you off, good. Next frame, there are 5 frames that I don't have like a amazing grasp on. Okay, second frame, that is Garuda, right? Garuda, yes, I remember names. Also, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I think they're like maybe B tier, probably. Yeah, seems like that. Seems pretty accurate to me. I've played them in like the circuit before. Definitely, good enough. Dagoth, A tier, right? Very juicy. They got like nukes everywhere. Any frame that has a consistent nuke is probably going to be A tier, at least, probably. Next is Temple. Temple, I've been told, is solid A tier. All right, shout out to the one and only Pancakes. Okay, April. So I believe in that, right? They have a great damage with a fire flower guitar. Shoots fire everywhere, kill stuff. That's all you need in life. And lastly would be Ash post rework. Not really sure about him, so just to piss off the Ash mains, I'm going to be putting him in the literally KMS tier because that's really funny. Dude, where the is Ash at? Am I blind? Here he is. There we go. Awesome. Just, pissed off like all 4 Ash mains that are left in the world. Now, actually beginning from here on, we're going to try to not make this an hour-long video like they normally are, but we'll see how things go. Trinity, she got a buff. Her buff was okay. She's better now, but she still has issues. I feel like she's just kind of like less clunky than before, but she still operates mostly the same, and I don't think she's all that great. We're just gonna, I know I put her really high back in the day. She's got a lot of niche potential, okay? We're gonna put her in C tier though, because with the amount of effort you put into it to do the weird like one-shot true damage thing, especially like level cap, you could just do that with somebody else, right? So you have to take that into account. That doesn't mean she's bad or she's not fun, but she isn't like crazy in the meta. I'd say C tier it's okay, right? Like S tier is why are they in the game? Actually, we need another tier above this one. Hold up. No. Ooh, somebody help me. I did not mean to add a row below. The highest tier is going to be, why is this in the game? Oh, whoa. And you're probably gonna already know who's going in this tier. I mean, nobody really needs to say who's in this tier. Oh god, that's a yikes. There we go. Perfect. Corvex, extremely underrated. Did a Corvex video recently. He's got a lot of AoE, a lot of survivability, very strong Warframe. I put him in A tier. Now, if we were to go off his clunkiness, because he does have a lot of clunkiness issues, he'd be down in D tier. But he's very, very strong and very fun and very tanky, so A tier. Also, fair warning, there's going to be a lot of frames in A tier, okay? A tier and B tiers where like 80% of the frames are probably going to end up being, because a lot of the frames in this game are balanced. some people get mad, oh, why are there so many frames in a certain tier? That's just how it is. They're like what, freaking 65 frames or something like that in the game. Okay, some tiers are going to be overcrowded with that many frames, so you're gonna have to suck it up. Dynax, lots of overguard, very good damage, slash damage. You can give overguard to teammates, has really consistent armor strip, really great survivability, assuming you get consistent kills. I also put him in A tier, plus he's Spartan and Sparta, so I don't think I need to say anything else. Mesa, ooh, I'm putting her in B tier. Yeah, B tier. Very good. I know a lot of people would probably want her an A or S tier. She is really fun and really good, but her guns do struggle in some stuff, and some enemies she can't target. She can have survivability issues at times. She's very good, but she does have issues, right? Like, most of the time she'll feel like an A or S tier, but there are those times that screw her over, in which case, you'd be better off with somebody else. Next is Valkyr. I love Valkyr so much, and she does humongous PP damage, especially after the changes. Hitting damage cap with her is very easy with a heavy attack, but you can also hit almost damage cap with other melee weapons and have more range, and do it on a melee frame instead, like a proper melee buffer frame like Varuna or not Lavos, what's his name? Kalervo. So while I am a raging Valkyr simp, she's one of my 3 favorite frames in the game, I am going to have to put her in C tier. D tier, C tier. Next we have Wisp. Lots of buffs, health buffs, electricity to stun the enemies, movement speed, attack speed, right? Like fire rate. She's really fast, very good frame, very fun to play. She's an easy S tier. Varuna, S tier. Also, one of the most entertaining frames to play in the game. If I'm playing melee, I want to play Varuna because she's just so fun. Assuming you play her in that way, she can be a brain dead playstyle. You can opt for that, but she can also be a very active playstyle where you're constantly doing something and thinking about your next target, and that makes her very fun to play. Plus, she has ungodly damage, huge AoE, crazy status priming. She's just a very strong frame, and she's pretty much invincible with a low shield gate build mixed with her invis. Very strong warframe. Plus, melees are their melee weapons in the game. Caliban, he's pretty solid. I put him in A tier after his buffs. Very solid. He does have some issues with his guys dying if you spawn in the ones that, like, there's 6 of them and they run around and they give you the most shield. I feel like those guys are kind of meh. Most of the time you're honestly better off just using the one version of the summons that shoots stuff. It's just so good because they have huge damage and they can shoot a lot of stuff, great for priming. He's got the Tau status, so he's great for applying tons of statuses. That makes him both great for priming and status damage because you apply more statuses for more damage. Good survivability, AoE armor strip all over the place, though his builds are a little annoying because Nourish is just so ungodly good compared to everything else. It makes it a little annoying. Very good frame, though. Protea, S tier. Oh my god, the turrets are extremely powerful. Being able to go back in time is very juicy. She's got like unlimited energy. She's got crap tons of iframes. She's got crazy damage. She's got an augment to give her easy armor strip all over the place. She's got an augment to let her turret follow her while she's in her 4. Also, her 4th ability is the most underrated ability within the game. People always subsume it off, but please don't subsume off her 4. Honestly, just stick with her base case. She doesn't even need a helmet. Very good frame, especially for Void Cascade. Oh, totally not biased, right? If it was up to my bias, I would put her up here because I'm a Hildren simp. I'm not just a Hildren simp. I'm the Hildren simp. Okay, I'm the Hildren guy. Hildren is my wife, my beloved. I'm gonna put her in A tier. She's really good, extremely tanky, lots of AoE damage all over the place, really easy to build early on. She does struggle into like level cap sort of stuff, and she does want a lot of expensive mods to put on her. Some of her builds can be annoying if you have too much range. Haven is a dog shit ability. She's heavily reliant on her Aegis Scale augment for her first ability to not be dog water, but she is, well, big damage, very tanky, armor strip all over the place. So that makes her a very solid frame, and you can't really go wrong with her in most of the content unless you're fighting infested, in which case, well, get fucked. Naji, hang on, let me just get banned from the Warframe community real quick. Femboy Neja, what? Oh, so Neja he's gotten nerfed a few times because of his augment and stuff. He is still very solid though. I'd put him also in A tier. A tier is where, like, if the frame is good but has drawbacks, they're probably going to be in A tier. Most of the frames should be in A tier. Most of the frames will be in A tier, or at least in my objective opinion. So very, very strong, good survivability, good AoE, spread status all over, very nice. Vobin, A tier as well. He is extremely underrated. Very good damage, very good survivability, lots of build diversity you can do. You can do so many different builds with him. Insanely good crowd control, the best sucky suck in the game. He has a lot going for him. I don't know why people don't play him more. Maybe it's just because he's been vaulted for like 9 years. I don't know if he's unvaulted right now though. Limbo, I gotta put Limbo down in C tier. I love him. He works crazy good when he works, he's up here. When he doesn't work, he's down here, or here even. Okay, if you're fighting enemies that just don't get stunned by him, there's too many Xmas, you're fucked. There's the Corpus or the weird Orcan people with the things that nullifiers. Yeah, why couldn't I think that? Nullifiers, you're fucked. Very squishy. He's really annoying. Because you can only really build range duration. Everything else, fuck that. I mean, you can do a funny build with like the thing where you send them into the void as first ability, but most of the time that's not what you're going to do. Most of the time it's not practical. Goss, S tier, mega fast, mega survivability, lots of damage, lots of AoE, lots of armor strip. He's just the perfect frame, right? He is what all frames should strive to be. I know I say perfect and he's an S tier. That's because if you're up here, you're not perfect, you're too good, okay? I know people hate the word nerf, but honestly, if a frame's up here, they probably need nerfed in some regard. Zaku. He's pretty good. It's between A and B, honestly, but he does have some issues, like sometimes you'll, fail the evade chance and your forehand just get destroyed. Sometimes RNG doesn't love you that way, and then you can either like build into the evasion, hope you don't get hit because the evasion, or you do sacrifice mod slots for some tankiness. He also doesn't pause abilities if it's a helmet, which is a bit annoying. Not that big of a deal, but a bit annoying. And his armor strip's really good, big AoE, but also you have to be able to stick an enemy down there. He has really good damage when he like steals guns from people. That's very, very solid, scales quite well, and you can do some crazy builds and just auto targets everything. But it also lacks the crazy AoE that some other frames have. It's also not very fun to play, in my personal opinion, because you just kind of walk around. So I'm gonna put him B tier. Nova, I did Nova real dirty last time. She got changed, right? Oh man, I can't remember. Fuck, I should have like used Nova before this. I used her a lot after her change, but I can't remember exactly all of it. Fourth ability, way better. She can speed stuff, slow it down, lots of extra damage, explosions galore. Anti-mana drop is a pretty good like mini nuke, works really well. You can make her first to nuke stuff as well with a funny ability. You can get lots of DR pretty consistently. If you just put a little bit of armor and health on her, she actually likely won't die in most content, like assuming you're not going past base steel path. Very good frame, right? Lots of movement, lots of buffing, slow the enemies down, they can barely do anything. Also great for farming stuff. Anaros. Ooh, he's there. He's the funny build where you like do infinite slash damage with his tornado, but that's just kind of there. I don't feel like it's super practical. He's health scaling, so if you do like long missions in the circuit or like void cascade or anything level cap like that, I know most people don't do that, but if you do, you're fucked because he's pure HP. You can't shield gate, and he doesn't have like iframes, or at least not like passive iframes in his base kit. His armor strip is there. It's not very fast. It's inconsistent at times with how it spreads. I put him in C tier. He is nice though. Like for a new player, a Nars is actually a great frame. He's one of the highest recommended frames by me for a new player, but he doesn't scale incredibly well. Nidus. Nidus. I've been working on a Nidus build. Dude, I've had, crap, I can't remember the guy's name. If you're still here, if you're still watching my videos, I love you, and I promise you, I'll get there. I'll get there one day. But I've been talking about doing a Nidus build for like 8 months now, and I still have not done it because I still haven't gotten all of the mods and stuff I wanted to test. I've tested so many things on a Nidus build because a Nidus, you can make a good Nidus build, but I want a level cap Nidus build. But like one you can do Void Cascade, something like that. But it's so difficult unless you're a god. You can do it, right? If I was better at the game, I could do it. I'd say I'm like slightly above average. I'm not amazing at the game, but I want it to not like take infinite brain power to make him work in like level cap, though in most stuff he is going to work. But it's kind of weird that he's supposed to work as in the longer you're in the mission the better he gets, but because of how level scaling works, the longer you're in mission, he's bad at the start, he's good in the middle, and he's bad at the end. So he's just kind of got this in between. If you're doing a really long mission, he sucks. If you're doing a really short mission, he sucks. So he's in a really awkward spot. If they just gave him like more DR, enough DR you could like reliably stack DR to a really insane degree, or they gave him some level of iframes, I think that would help a lot. But right now he's not that great. Kome is another one of like Vobin, very underrated. Kome does not get enough credit. People shat on her a lot when she came out, but she's not made for your average gamer. I'd put her in A tier. Not crazy. She can be crazy if you get the right buffs on her and you're in a mission for crazy long. She only works in like really long missions. I feel like she fills the role that Nidus used to or is supposed to, right? She's a really long endurance kind of Warframe. Really great priming too for your teammates. Gara. Ooh man, Gara can just walk around and stuff dies and have massive hits with her slash, which is crazy damage with melee influence after the changes they did, and like I think melee Dottie maybe or something, or was it afflictions? I don't know. Someone said there was another arcane that was crazy on her, but you can make her do some ridiculously good damage, and she's really easy to slap pillage on. Yeah, it's boring, but it's really effective. Armor strip makes you basically invincible, easy to get a shield gate up to like the 2.5 second mark. So very good frame and scales well in pretty much anything in the game. Equinox has seen better days, very clunky but very good. Her kit is both good and bad. It has a lot of good stuff in it. It's like she's got survivability is there, debuffing is there, buffing is there, damage there. She's got pretty much everything you can need. Crowd control is there, right? It's all there, but it's in a very clunky way. Like you have to put in a lot of time and effort and brain power to go through a very clunky way to get all of this stuff. So she's really good, but very much an old frame. She could easily be an S tier, or hell, even the highest tier if they fixed some of the problems with her. But right now I'm going to put her in B tier. Very solid frame though, and I enjoy playing her. She's very fun to play, or at least for me personally. Gyre, S tier. You walk around and stuff gets electrocuted. It's very similar, I guess you could say, to walk around and stuff dies like Zaku, but it's infinitely more satisfying because the electricity everywhere, and you can spam other abilities with Gyre. She is really freaking strong. Just crazy good. Most people don't play Gyre. I never see Gyre anymore. I haven't seen Gyre in a long time, and I think it's because Gyre, someone put it perfectly in my Gyre build video from like a year ago. People don't play Gyre because she makes the game too easy. That's why they don't play her. Gyre's very strong, but she does take some investments to get there, right? Like she wants a lot of really specific mods to make her really shine. Atlas. The daddy one punch. He's really strong with that one ability, but the other abilities are a bit of yikes. I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. He would be an F tier if it wasn't for his punch being so good. His landslide, which is now a proper, quotation marks proper, because it's not exactly the same, but proper exalted weapon, and it does a lot of damage. And he does have a lot of iframes in this kit, but other than iframes and big punchy, his other abilities are complete trash. He really needs a rework very badly. So we're gonna put him in C tier right now. But he is one of my favorite frames to go to level cap with. Like, if I'm going to level cap, one of my 3 favorite frames to do it with would be Atlas. He's probably like my 3rd or 2nd. Okay. Very, very good frame, and actually quite easy to go level cap with. You have to have a high as fuck investment build, but pretty easy to go level cap with, all things considered. Volts, still an S tier. Still, he's like the Eidolon Hunter guy, even though people don't really do Eidolon hunts. He's got crazy movement speed buff, gives it to the team. Really good shield. His shield never dies. Put it down, stack it. So 4, if you build into that, is actually great for giving you shields for shield gating both yourself and teammates. If you have the augment, it has crowd control. It can do damage if everybody's grouped up. His first ability with Shock Trooper can give you a huge electric damage bonus, and electric is one of the best statuses for damage in the game right now. He's just very good. He's aged like fine wine. There's never really been a time where Volt wasn't really good. Titania. Ooh, she's better than she was, especially now that you can put arcanes on weapons and like all the good mods and stuff on exalted weapons, and blast helped her a lot, and you don't have to put a pure punch through mod on her to get punched through. There's merciless gunfight, which gives punch through and crit damage, so in general she has a lot more AoE than she used to, because you can get damage plus punch through with a mod, and then you can build blast so that you have as much AoE as possible on her exalted weapons. Though I still think her melee is trash. She's really hard to control because the arc wing thing is kind of fucked up. They really need to fix how arc wing mechanics work. But she's the best frame in the game for speed running stuff, and that's what people use her for, especially with speed running, getting relics, so that, or cracking relics, so you can get prime parts to sell or turn into ducats. So I'm gonna put her in B tier. Honestly, I would personally put her in C tier if it wasn't for her speed running that she's so good at, but because of that, we're putting her in B tier. Ember. Ember is one of those frames that she has the potential like all of these A tier frames, but she takes a lot of investment to get there. But if you put an equal amount of investment in her, she scales way harder with investment than other frames. Granted, it ends up being balanced out to a lot of other frames, like they're fairly equal, but Ember can be really, really strong with a lot of investment. And if you are spamming her abilities, which is usually what you build her to do, she's a caster frame, she also is really hard to kill. I think she's A tier, but I do think she's like bottom A tier nowadays, right? But she's still a very, very solid frame. Very fun to play as well. Similar to Vora, you're always casting, so always doing something. You don't really go to sleep while playing Ember, which is nice, because some frames put you to sleep. Kalervo. Another S tier, similar to Varuna, because he's a melee frame and you can spread damage. You can make anything in the game into AoE with quotation marks, because you link enemies taking damage with one of his abilities. He's got Overguard galore. He's got the teleport to get insane crit. He's got a ton of heavy attack efficiency. He's just very good in a game where melee weapons are very good, and he's a melee focused frame. So extremely solid. Also, if I didn't put Kalervo at least in S tier, I'm pretty sure Mats and Flitzy would kill me. So I'm doing this for you. Please don't kill me. Haro. I love Haro. He's got a lot of good buffs, but again, similar to Equinox, he's very, very clunky to get all of said buffs. Very strong when you get him going, but to keep him going is a pain in the ass. So I'm going to put him in C tier, though he's got all the lore backing him. So cool. Loki. Gonna piss people off still. S tier. Weapons are crazy bust. It's crazy. I know you can disagree. I know people be like, oh no, it's like D tier, C tier. He needs a buff. He is invincible. All right, with his speed and perma invis. If you die with him, you probably suck. And there are weapons in the game, a lot of weapons, especially incarnate weapons in the game, that do enough damage to kill level cap enemies unbuffed. Put a good gun on, put on Loki. there you go. You're done. Okay, he's got it. He's godlike. Very, very good frame. I love Loki. Just all the invis, all the crowd control. Now he's got, I think one of his things gives crit. Now I think they did some sort of buff to him. I think there's something that buffs him. Also, he has access to the arcane where while you're invis, you get extra strength and crit damage. That makes him have extra damage. That's a huge buff to Loki. Lavos. Lavos is, I gotta put him up here. Okay, there are only probably gonna be 3 frames up here. Lavos, for your average gamer, Lavos is going to be down here. For your slightly more cultured gamer, he's going to be right here. For your bigger brain gamer, he's right here. For the people that know how to abuse him, bro's up here. He's ridiculous with the way he can apply statuses and stuff. And his augment, oh fucking god, can't remember what it's called, but it gives you an element. You can put any element you want onto your weapon with like 200% damage, and then every single hit procs a status guaranteed. What the fuck? Who was thinking that was good idea? Who thought that's balanced? He is crazy, crazy, crazy strong. And now he has a prime variant. Oh my god. Godlike Warframe. Lavos, if you don't have Lavos, get Lavos. He's also really fun. I love playing Lavos. Very satisfying, and I love the looks of all of his abilities. The sound effects and VFX are glorious. Mirage. Ooh, I'm gonna put Mirage in A tier, A tier. She's got some issues, but she does have a lot of fucking damage, and if you build her right, she is really hard to kill. She has more than one build you can do, right? You can do a disco ball build where it just auto shoots everything. You can do a weapons platform build and go with like an AoE weapon, and because you got your clone shooting, that's a lot more AoE. I do think she has a bit of clunkiness in her case. Oh yeah, also you can do the spawn killing enemies build if they're low enough with the mines and shit. So she has several meta level builds, but I do feel like she could use a few touch-ups, a little more consistency with her not dying, right? Like she's got really low health and shields, and you got to build into like a low shield gate. And she does have her clones that can get attacked, but a lot of the time, if your clone gets attacked and it's an AoE attack, it's going to hit you anyways. So if you build her right, she won't die, but it can be a little annoying. You have to invest more into it than I would like. But she is very active, like running around, but also a weapons platform, so it highly depends on your weapon. Grendel, another A tier. You could argue S tier for Grendel actually nowadays. I'm gonna put him in A tier, but again, you could argue S tier pretty easily. Very, very strong with his augment, the new augment he got. Insane damage, especially if they're grouped up for the quadratic skill. Just fucking ridiculous damage. Very good, and you can do some really funny builds. Also, the meatball is glorious. If you don't like the meatball, then you've failed at life. You don't know what fun is. Ureli. Oh, a D tier. Ureli. She's there. Ureli's there. She's one of my 3 favorite frames. My 3 favorite are Hildren, Ureli, and Valkyr. And, you know, Ureli needs some help. I wish they made the K drives a little less painful and they went into the K drive. Instead, they give us a banded augment where you're no longer on the K drive. She's got the gimmick for like lots of iframes. If I went off my bias, I would put her in A tier. Okay. But in practicality, in battle with most people, she's not going to perform all that great. But I do still love her. Maybe she'll get buffed when her prime comes out, because I think she'll be the next prime Warframe, I believe, right? Pretty sure. Frost. Ooh, this one's tough. It's honestly between B, A, or S. He's really slow and really needs casting speed, but if you build him right and use the right weapons, he can make use of it really well, and he's got a funny breach surge build that's crazy for damage. He's got armor strip, he's got overguard. We're going to put him in S tier, but you could argue lower. But he does have a lot of stuff going for him, both for himself, for defense, offense, and for the team. And he's got the snow globe, which can be nice for defense. Saren. Saren is... we're going to put her in the why is this in the game. She's pretty cracked out of her mind. Very, very strong weapons platform. people don't build her with spores as much. If you would like a funny spore video, go look at my Saren spores build. It's great. But most of the time you build her with a weapons platform, kind of like Lavos. You can get some really ridiculous damage that shouldn't even be possible, and you can make pretty much anything in the game good. And if you just spam the crap out of molts with a shield gate build, you'll never die and be very fast. So also, she's got massive honker badonkers. Oberon. Ooh, he's got potential. He's got potential, but I gotta put him in F tier. He kind of needs a rework. Very, 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 very clunky. Lots of potential with his first ability. You can do some funny stuff with that. His second ability, the grass is a little weird. His fourth ability, kind of a worse version of a lot of other abilities. His third ability, it could be better. And the augment for the Phoenix Blessing should just be built into it. He's not unusable, but he could use some help. That doesn't mean you can't make him work. You can make him work all the way to level cap, but you can do that with any frame. So I do think Oberon is someone that needs a rework though. Mag would have been an S tier, but I'm gonna put her in A tier. I don't think she's S tier, not anymore. There's just so many other things have gotten buffed. She just doesn't see as much use now. She's still really strong with lots of armor strip and shields and stuff and shield gating. She's very good, but I just feel like she doesn't do things quite as well in comparison to a lot of other frames. But I do love Mag, right? I'd say she's like top of A tier, right? Yeah. I'm not like actually sorting these, but you know, just to like represent what I was saying. Chroma, ooh, D tier. I love Chroma. He's got crazy buffs, but another crazy ass clunky Warframe that's got a lot of issues and a basically dead 4 ability and a dead 1 ability. So that's kind of a yikes. I don't really know what else to say about Chroma. Zephyr, A tier. She's got potential to be like S tier, really good frames. You can do some funny shenanigans with her, but you gotta like know how different weapons interact with her tornadoes. Otherwise, you're not going to get nearly as much value out of her. Also, playing around the tornadoes can be a little bit annoying with how they move around and stuff. Personally, that can be really annoying for me. And if you don't put the augment on her, having the weird gravity can also be really fucking annoying. But then if you have to put the augment on her in the Exo slot just to fix that while you're putting on a mod just to fix an issue, which is a bit of a yikes. So that's why I put her in A tier. Sevagoth, also A tier. Very, very, very strong nuking potential. Some of the best nuking in the game, but he also lacks survivability unless you go with Pillage, but Pillage is so boring. And even with Pillage, I feel like there are better frames. He's really good, really, really good. Like, also similar to Mag, like top of A tier or something. But, not quite S tier in my opinion. And I do think his Spectre thing, right, the little for the shadow, I think that could use a little bit of help. Although, actually, wait, I haven't used it since Exalted's got arcanes. I totally forgot about Sevagoth. I wonder if that helped Sevagoth. Maybe he is S tier. Let me know in the comments if you know about that. Hydroid. Ooh, as more things in the game start giving more and more corrosive damage and do more damage and more nuking, his value goes down. He used to be S tier in my opinion. Then I put him in like A tier, and now I put him in B tier. He's good, but he's not like crazy or anything. He's just sort of there. He's really fun to play though, and he does very much fulfill that his sort of own kind of like power fantasy. I really enjoy playing Hydroid, but he also desperately needs casting speed. Excalibur. Ooh, another frame that's a little rough, clunky because of how he works at times. Very basic, like the same exact combo. You're just spamming his Excalibur sword all the time, which can be really, really mind-numbing and put you to sleep. But he's crazy with melee influence now because of all of the exalted changes and getting arcanes and mods and stuff added to them. But he also has a real issue with survivability, so it's kind of hard to build into everything you would want on him. And again, he's very brain dead, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. I know there are probably gonna be people that say S tier, like, you know, the highest tier, but I personally put him in B tier. Octavia, I'm not really sure I need to say anything. Octavia is so complicated that I'm not going to go into half an hour explaining how she works. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Just know she's crazy good, but she takes a lot of effort, and you got to do something where she can make use of enemies being crazy busted. So, you know, she scales really, really fucking well. Ivara. Gonna piss some people off with this. Ivara mains are gonna murder me. I don't think she's that great. Her invis is just most of the time strictly worse than Loki's or Ash or the other invisible frames. She's there. You're so slow in your invis. The zip line, yeah, you can cheese the augment, and that bug's been in the game for like 4 years, and you can just permanently get the buffs. That's not intended. I'm not really going to take that into account. It might get removed. I know it's been in the game for like almost half a decade, but it's not intended. Most people don't do it. Her fourth ability is just so bad compared to a lot of other weapons. Don't even use it most of the time, right? You're better off just using a normal gun or an incarnate weapon or anything. But her fourth ability, the Piercer or Navigator ability, is funny, gimmicky. It can be crazy, but it's gimmicky, right? Like you're doing some very wacky thing that could be inconsistent at times to do big damage when you could just do something more consistent for bigger AoE damage on another frame. Nyx, a lot better after buffs, but still kind of just there. She's got a lot of crowd control with her radiation, but also Xmas enemies exist. She's invincible with the one augment. You just walk around and never die, like literally straight up invincible. But she's not really doing a whole lot. You get a bit of crit, yeah, but she's not really doing anything, to be honest. Which is sad because I love Eleanor as a character, but Nyx is one of the frames that when I play her, it puts me to sleep. Like I'll start farming something and I'm playing Nyx, and either I gotta switch off Nyx when I get on the mission if I keep going, or I go to bed because it literally puts me to sleep. I do like her though, and I like her design a lot. Citrine, A tier, really solid support, similar to Wisp. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I might even say S tier, though she is very much health scaling, but most people don't do level cap. I feel like it's not fair to put her in A tier and put Wisp in S tier. So we're going to put her in S tier because she has some crazy good priming, gives a ton of DR to teammates, can do some crazy red crits with the one augment spinning her crystals everywhere. Really good Warframe. Very, very good support frame. Korra, very, very strong. Also an S tier because of the changes to the pseudo exalted. She has so much damage. I think Gara's still strictly better in most cases, but Korra is also very, very strong. But she does have far more energy issues and survivability issues than Gara does. I don't know. I guess just because that alone, I feel like it's enough to put her in A tier because Gara's in S tier. Ooh, I don't know. It's really up for debate. You know what? We're gonna put her in A tier, top of A tier. She can be a bit annoying to play at times though, but having double kitties is funny. Jade, ooh. She's really clunky at times. I don't care for her for. She's got survivability issues. She's decent for support, but I don't think she's all that she's cracked up to be by some people. Some people hate on her too much. They say she's like D tier. Some people think she's the second coming of Jesus and they say she's S tier, but I think she's a solid B tier, right? She's not bad, but she's not insane, or at least not in my opinion, not for what you have to put in to get the value. Oh crap, I forgot. Baruch's another frame I don't know enough about. Actually, so it's 6. So crap. We're just gonna say he's A tier and assume that's right, because I see a lot of stuff about him being good, but I don't see anything about him being like busted. Dansei, ooh, also A tier. Again, a lot of frames in A tier, but a lot of frames in the game, and being an A tier is good. He's really good. He's got great survivability for the team, just infinite overguard. He's really nice when you're doing the EDA. If you get him and you use him, very, very good to keep your team alive. And he does have some good nuking, but he got nerfed several times. He's got really, really long cast times. You desperately want casting speed, and even with casting speed, you have to do multiple casts in a row to nuke, right? It's like cast, there's a nuke, all right? Whereas you can get better, bigger, more consistent nukes for far less on other frames than Dante, though he does have the great survivability, but I don't think he's quite S tier. Wukong. God, I hate Wukong. Probably, I'm going to be honest, there's probably some bias here, but I'm putting Wukong in D tier. He's annoying when you have him as a teammate. They just fucking speed smoke all the way to extraction and then let you do all the work while they go make a sandwich. Suck my dick, okay? I don't like the clones. Weird, inconsistent, very janky AI, uses up all of your ammo. Smoke, very nice ability, I guess, you know, fast iframes, it's nice. Defy, better than it gets credit for, another really underrated ability, but it doesn't really work on Wukong himself. I feel like it would be a far better ability on a different frame, like, I don't know, Lavos if he didn't have Overguard or something. I think it's a good ability, but I just don't think it's good on Wukong, and he has a terrible Exalted weapon when compared to many of the other Exalteds. You're better off using a normal melee over his Exalted. Banshee, F tier. I would have put her higher. I put her in A tier, I think, in my last tier list, but as time goes on, she just becomes more and more clunky in comparison to other Warframes. She's really strong and has a lot of potential, but again, so goddamn clunky. So much effort just to get the same amount of value as all of these other frames with almost no effort. Rhino. A tier. He's A tier, yeah, because his first ability is useless, his fourth ability is almost useless a lot of the time. But having a full base strength roar, right, 50% at base, it's not the helmet roar, is kind of crazy, and he's basically invincible. So, you know, having one of the best, if not the best, buffs damage-wise in the game, on top of just being invincible, is pretty damn strong, but he doesn't have anything else going for him. Like, he doesn't have, like, insane AoE or crazy team buffing or anything like that. Revenant, I'm putting him up here because, I mean, you activate it and give yourself and all of your teammates complete status immunity and damage immunity, and the enemies even get stunned when they shoot you. Why? I don't like Revenant's existence. Nerf him. Someone's gonna get mad at that. People are gonna get mad at that, but he's honestly, I would say Revenant could use a nerf. Octavia could use a nerf and a buff on the low end, right? Buff on the low end for how she works and nerf on the high end. Saren could use a nerf, and Lavos could use I think he should use a slight nerf to his augment, but nothing in his base kits. And I would even still leave him in this tier, but I feel like he takes a big brain with what you do in the setup, or at least he would if it wasn't for the augment being so crazy on its own, that it would be fine that he's in this tier and he wouldn't need to be nerfed because he just got so much goddamn potential. I know there are people that don't use Lavos or don't understand aren't going to say that he's better than a lot of these other frames, but I stick by the Lavos up here. Necros. F tier, please DE buff him. Terrify is just an inferior armor strip to so many other abilities. It takes more strength and more energy than a lot of the other armor strips and a really long time to cast, and there's a limit on how many enemies you hit. It's not a permanent armor strip. It's just why? The summons are very doo-doo water unless you heavily build into its gimmick and are in like level 1000 plus. Otherwise, they're literally just there. I don't even know why you would care. He's just there for loot farming. Otherwise, he's a dog shit Warframe. These three down here desperately need reworks. And that's it. We've gotten all of them. For the people that skip to the end, you know, I wanted to piss people off, but I don't know enough about Ash's rework, though. Let's just say he's S tier. You know what? He's S tier. Literally KMS or S tier. So that is what it is. If you disagree, that's fine. I mean, it's purely subjective. I know I made a joke about needing to piss people off on the internet for entertainment, but it's subjective. Tier lists are always going to be subjective. Always. You can't take everything into account because there's just too many factors with different kind of content and different kind of ways of doing things in a game. And it's not just with Warframe. Any game ever is not going to have a tier list that is all encompassing and objective. It's just never going to happen. So if you disagree, that's fine. That's great. I've been wrong many times before. Last time I did this, I was severely wrong about Nova. I even made a video pointing out how wrong I was about Nova, because I very much was. Being wrong happens. It's human. So, you know, don't get your panties in a wad. Try to relax. That being said, for the people that directly skip to the end, let me just do something real quick so that if they skip all the way to the very end and they don't listen to me talk, they get mad, and then if I see them raging in the comments about that, I can tell them they're stupid because they didn't listen to anything I said and they just clicked on the end of the video and then started getting mad. So real quick, we're just gonna, you know, move a couple people around up here, put this down here, Down here, we're going to put Saren in like B tier, put him here. Varuna's in F tier. Banshee's in literally broken. So is Necros. Fortea's in literally KMS. Now we're just kind of like randomly grabbing people and moving them around. We're just gonna see what happens. Oh, and Hildren at the top, of course. There we go. That should properly piss some people off. So I can see the people that just skipped all the way through. Got them. That's it. If you like the video, I guess leave a like and maybe subscribe, unless you don't want to. In which case, don't, because you shouldn't do what you don't want to do. Oh, well. Adios.